Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Russ and I drive a 2024 Subaru Forester Sport, and today I'm going to answer a question I get all the time. Which 5th generation Subaru Forester trim is the best? Base trim, premium trim, sport, wilderness, limited touring? Yes, there's 6 to choose from. That can be super confusing, and honestly, I wish I could just tell you, buy this one or don't buy that one, but it doesn't work like that because at the end of the day, the best Forester is not necessarily the most expensive Forester. It's the one that meets your specific needs and budget. For example, when I look at my own Forester Sport, it's the third one from the bottom in the trim lineup. I think it looks great, it answers most of my needs, and for the price it has a really generous set of standard features already included. But the truth is, when I bought my Forester Sport, I made one very dumb decision I still regret to this day. And that decision is exactly why I'm making this video today. Because when you're shopping for a 5th generation Forester, which they made between 2019 and 2024, you don't just need to look at the trim. You also need to look at the optional packages that are offered along with the trim. Seriously, you all heard the saying that the devil is in the details, right? Well, when it comes to choosing the right Forester, the devil is in the optional packages offered as an addition to the specific trim level you're going to be buying. That little optional package most people are quick to say no to can completely change the character of the car you're buying. You might go ahead and find two identical looking Foresters, same trim, same color, same mileage, same price, but one will have a power liftgate, a bigger and more modern looking infotainment system, upgraded Harman Kardon music, and reverse automatic braking. And the other one will not have these things, and trust me, as the time goes on, you're going to notice. So let's go through every Forester trim out there, what you get, what you don't get, and which one I think is the best value. Let me just say that if money is no object, just go for the most expensive trim. Obviously, that's a no-brainer here, unless you want the most off-road ready and capable Forester. But yeah, the most expensive model is the Subaru Forester in the touring trim. It's the king of the hill. Basically comes with every option available. I mean, leather seats, heated front and rear seats, heated steering wheel, memory seats for the driver, Harman Kardon music, and the list goes on and on. In fact, that's the only trim in the whole lineup that does not offer an optional package, simply because there's nothing else to offer. This trim has it all. Apart from the 360 camera, but it's a story for another day. Okay, now that we got the most expensive trim out of the way, let's start from the other end. Let's look at the Forester in the base trim. Now, a lot of people hear base model and immediately think it's some sad rental car with zero features. And yes, the base Forester is definitely simple. It has steel wheels with plastic covers. Obviously, it comes with manually adjusted cloth seats. It doesn't have panoramic moonroof. Obviously, no power liftgate, no blind spot monitoring, and it comes with basic 6.5-inch infotainment system. And here's the thing, it's still a Forester. You still get 182 horsepower 2.5-liter boxer engine that you get on a touring trim. You still get Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive. You still get eyesight safety technology. You still get the same visibility, the same big windows, the same spacious cabin, the same rear doors that open almost 90 degrees, the same basic reason people buy a Forester in the first place. So if you're looking for the most affordable way to get into a 5th generation Subaru Forester, and if you don't care about the moonroof, roof rails, fancy wheels, power seats, or extra technology, the base model might actually be perfect. There's nothing wrong with buying the base trim, especially if you live somewhere with bad weather and you just want a practical, reliable, all-wheel drive SUV for the best price with minimal amount of features. Simple car. However, there's one thing I want to point out to those of you who want to get the base trim as the platform for their off-road Forester build project. Keep in mind that the base trim does not include the X mode, which is Subaru's version of a driver-activated traction control system. Basically, it's designed for low traction situations such as driving over sand, snow, and mud. From my experience driving in the winter, X mode turns your Forester into a tank, so I'd definitely not skip out on it if you plan to do any sort of off-roading. And of course, if you want the X mode in your car, you have to move up to the premium trim. In fact, I think that the premium trim is the sweet spot in the whole Forester lineup, because this is where the Forester really starts becoming a much nicer car to live with. The premium trim adds on a lot of features. You get your X mode with hill descent control, that's your off-road box checked. You get 17-inch alloy wheels, no plastic covers here. You also get LED fog lights, you get keyless entry with push button start, you get panoramic moonroof, roof rails, tinted rear windows, 10-way power driver seats, heated front seats, heated exterior mirrors, a windshield wiper deicer, and a bunch of other little things that make the whole car feel complete. I mean, the panoramic moonroof alone is a big deal, and it's not one of those tiny little moonroofs where you can see approximately half a cloud. When Subaru's panoramic moonroof is open, it turns the whole car into a convertible. So if you're looking for the perfect budget-friendly Forester, I'd say that premium trim is the one you need to seriously consider. I almost went with the premium trim myself, however there was one problem. Blind spot monitoring was not standard on the premium. And I really wanted blind spot monitoring. Driving in New York, it's one of my favorite safety features. I wanted that little warning light in my mirror warning me about cars in my blind spot, and that's why I immediately started looking at the Sport that already had blind spot monitoring included in the trim. Besides, the price difference between the premium and the sport was like $600 back in the day, and I just preferred the look and features of the sport over the premium. But if you're watching this thinking, oh wow, I really like the price of the premium, but I really need that blind spot monitoring as well, you're in luck because you simply need to go for the premium that has optional package 15 included. This will give you things like blind spot monitoring with lane change assist. You'll also get rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency steering, and of course the big one, the power rear gate. Overall premium trim with the package 15 is a very compelling offer. The power liftgate alone is something I wish I had in my Sport. When I bought my Forester, I thought, I don't really need that. Turns out I was wrong. I'm 6'4", so closing the hatch is easy for me, but my wife is shorter, so she has to reach up and grab the hatch and close it manually every time. Is it the end of the world? Of course not, but after 2 years, those little things add up and turn into annoyances and regrets. So if you're shopping for a Forester and you find yourself premium with optional package 15, pay attention. That might actually be the best value Forester for a lot of people. Now let's get to my trim, the Sport. A big part of why I went for the Sport was based on how it looked. The Sport trim has 18-inch black wheels, it has orange accents on the outside, sporty looking interior on the inside. It's a Sport in a lot of places, and it has an overall more aggressive look than the premium. Some people hate the orange, I get it. I know that for some people, orange accents alone is the reason why they would never choose a Sport. But I like it. I think it looks especially good in white. I think it looks great with silver and blue. And I like that it gives the Forester a little personality without trying too hard. The Sport also gives you dual function X mode, as opposed to a single function X mode on the Premium. You also get paddle shifters, so you can go through simulated gear changes, well, more like fake gear changes, because after all, it's a CVT. I don't ever use paddle shifters, but I gotta admit that it does add a bit of sportiness to the overall look of the interior. The Sport trim also comes with the Sport Sharp mode. Sport Sharp mode is basically Subaru's Sport mode button. They have it on the steering wheel here, which makes the throttle response sharper. However, important to note here is that while regular trims get the regular Sport mode and intelligent mode, the Sport trim, like mine, has been given the special Sport Sharp mode, which is slightly more sharp and aggressive, I guess. Interestingly enough, Subaru also decided to give the same special Sport Sharp mode to the Wilderness trim, and I honestly don't know what the thinking behind it was, but hey, they did it. So for me, the Sport had the look I wanted, it had the features I wanted, with the price being nearly identical to the premium. So it absolutely felt like the right trim for me. And it still does, but here's the biggest regret that I have. I bought the right trim, but I bought the wrong version of that trim because I skipped on the optional package 24. And optional package 24 is something I should have absolutely included. It would have given me reverse automatic braking, 8-inch infotainment screen instead of my tiny little 6 point something screen. I would get the Harman Kardon music, the power rear liftgate. Oh my god, that's the one I need the most. Basically, it would have fixed four of my biggest complaints. A bigger screen would make the interior feel more modern, Harman Kardon music would make the listening experience way better, reverse automatic braking is a great safety feature, and the power lift gate would make daily life so much easier. At the time, I thought, I don't need any of these features, and now I have nothing but regrets. So, my advice is simple. If you love the sport trim, find one with optional package 24. Don't even think about buying the one without optional package 24. How about that? Future you will thank you. Now let's talk about the wilderness trim. That's the trim I wanted but couldn't afford. I think it looks fantastic, however, the wilderness is not just an off-road appearance package. It's most off-road version of the Forester you could buy. It has all-terrain Yokohama Geolantra tires. It has 9.2 inches of ground clearance as opposed to 8.7 on every other trim. It has an engine skid plate. It has different bumpers, different suspension tuning, a full-size spare tire. This one is actually amazing. Big shout out to the new Forester Hybrid that only has a tire repair kit on board. Wilderness trim also has an on-demand front view camera, so you can see stuff ahead when you're on the trail. I mean, we all would prefer a 360 camera, but 180 is better than nothing. So yeah, like I said, it's not just an appearance package. Subaru gave the CVT on a wilderness trim lower gearing and final drive ratio. The Wilderness is also equipped with factory-installed supplemental external oil cooler, which enables you to tow up to 3,000 pounds versus 1,500 pounds on the other trims. And obviously, the Wilderness also features a dual function X mode. And one more interesting fact, while my Sport lets you use pedal shifters to go through 7 simulated gears, on the Wilderness trim you get 8. I'm sure nobody cares, but still. So if you're somebody who actually does need all the extra off-road capability, then the Wilderness trim might be the best Forester for you. But if you're buying it only based on the way it looks, just know what you're getting. The all-terrain tires can be louder, the Wilderness is heavier than the other trims in the lineup, and the fuel economy is also slightly worse. And somehow it does not come with the power liftgate as standard. Yes, you can buy the most off-road looking Forester Subaru makes, with the front camera, skid plate, all-terrain tires, and the extra clearance, but you still have to close the liftgate yourself. So if you chose the Wilderness trim, but you still need things like power liftgate or upgraded sound system, you need optional package 22. By the way, keep in mind that each trim has different number optional package, some 15, 24, 22, you get the point, so pay attention. So again, don't just buy the trim, check the features you will get if you go for the trim with the optional package included. Now we get to the Limited. And honestly, the Limited is a trim I have the hardest time recommending. Not because it's bad, it's a nice trim, you get a lot of stuff you have on the Sport, but in addition you also get the leather trim upholstery, you get 8-inch infotainment screen as standard, you get the power rear gate, dual zone climate control, one touch folding rear seat. But even on a limited, you gotta opt in for the optional package 32 if you want things like upgraded Harman Kardon music, reverse automatic braking, and the heated steering wheel. So yes, the limited feels more luxurious and upscale than the premium and the sport, of course, yes. But for me, the limited is neither here nor there. It's not as visually fun to look at as the sport, it's not as off-road focused as the wilderness, and if I'm already spending limited trim money, I would probably look very closely at the touring, especially on the used market, because sometimes the difference between the limited and the touring is not that much, and the touring gives you a lot more for your money. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the touring is the fully loaded Forester. You get every feature from the limited, but then you also have premium features like heated rear seats, heated steering wheel included, driver memory seats, 8-way power passenger seat, Harman Kardon 9-speaker system, and of course, exclusive to the Touring, you can have the saddle brown leather interior. Ooh, yeah. If money is no object, I think Touring makes a lot of sense for a lot of people. But there's one important thing to remember. A Touring is not faster, it does not have a better engine, it does not have a different transmission, it does not magically turn the Forester into a luxury car. It's still the same basic Forester underneath. You're just paying for comfort and equipment. And for a lot of people, that's gonna make a lot of sense. So, which 2024 Forester trim is the best? Here's my honest answer. If you want the least expensive Forester possible, of course, get the Subaru Forester base trim. If you want the best value, I think premium trim with optional package 15 might be hands down the winner here. If you want the best looking Forester, I'm biased, but I say go for the Sport. And if you buy a Sport, don't make the same mistake I made. Please find the one with optional packs 24. It's worth it. If you actually need off-road capability, that's simple. Get the Wilderness. Not because it has cool badges, because it actually has real mechanical changes that make it more capable of road. If you want the nicest, most loaded 5th generation Forester, and you don't care about the price, get the Touring. But at the end of the day, just don't overlook the optional packages because they can make a huge difference in how your Forester feels every single day. I chose the right trim. I love my Sport, but I skipped on the package that would have made it much better. And that is exactly the mistake I don't want you guys to make. Alright guys, if you gotten this far into the video, I want to hear which Subaru Forester trim you're driving, and if you're thinking about buying a Forester, which trim you're gonna go for. Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.